Okay, let's dive into something interesting today. We're looking at a place where getting clear news can be, well, tricky. Glimpses, mostly. We're doing a deep dive into some pretty curious reports that have come out of North Korea just recently. We've pulled together information from various news reports. Reuters covered this in Today News and LiveBent, and we're also looking at details from KCNA and Yonhap. So our mission really is to unpack these different events, things that happened over just a few days.
That's the plan. We've got three main things that popped up around the same time: a big internet outage, an issue with a military ship, and a border crossing incident. And the goal is just to look at what these specific reports say based only on these sources and see, what picture emerges.
Okay, let's get into it then. Three distinct things happening almost back to back. Where should we start? The digital silence seems like a good place.
Yeah, let's start there. So Saturday morning, June 7th, reports started coming out about a major internet outage across North Korea. And this wasn't just like slow speeds. According to one UK researcher, Junaid Ali, the entire country's internet infrastructure just wasn't visible anymore.
The whole thing. Wow, how widespread are we talking?
Well, according to him, completely widespread. It affected all the routes, didn't matter if they went through China or Russia.
Huh, all routes.
Yeah, everything seemed to be down from the outside perspective.
So if you tried to reach, say, their main news sites or the foreign ministry website, nothing.
Exactly, just inaccessible that morning.
And did the source give any idea why? What caused it?
The researcher, Ali, suggested it was, and I'm quoting here, likely internal rather than an attack.
Internal. Okay, that's interesting. So maybe not hacking or anything from the outside, but something within their own system.
That's what the report suggests, yeah.
And getting official comment sounds like it was tough, too. South Korea's cyber response team couldn't be reached.
That's what was noted, yes. Adds to the lack of immediate clarity.
Right. So what does it really mean when an entire country effectively drops off the global internet map, even temporarily? It really gives you a sense of, well, control, maybe.
It definitely highlights how centralized that infrastructure must be, and
Yeah.
maybe how information about problems like this is managed or just slow to come out.
Okay, so from digital quiet, let's switch gears completely. Something very physical.
Hmm.
A warship. The sources talk about a relaunch. Something went wrong the first time.
That's right, a 5,000-ton destroyer. Apparently, the first launch attempt back in May was described as botched.
Botched. And not just a small issue, it sounds like. Kim Jong-un was there.
He was, according to the report citing KCNA.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, he wasn't happy.
No, I bet not. The report said he called it carelessness that tarnished national dignity. Strong words.
It's very strong. And it wasn't just criticism. He ordered it fixed, restored, before a ruling party meeting happening this month.
Ah, so there's a deadline, a political deadline tied to fixing this ship.
Exactly. National dignity and a party meeting. So the pressure was likely on.
And did they manage it? What did the sources say?
Seems like it. KCNA, via Reuters, reported the balance was restored earlier in June. It was successfully relaunched on Thursday, June 5th.
And it's okay now.
Well, it's relaunched and moored at a pier. The next step, according to the reports, is for experts to check the hull. That'll take maybe 7 to 10 days.
Okay.
And this is all part of the restoration at Rajen Dockyard. The aim is still full restoration before that party meeting.
That's really something, isn't it? A ship launch failure becomes this big thing about national pride with a hard political deadline. It elevates a technical problem quite a bit.
It certainly shows how such things can be framed and prioritized, yeah. Okay, so let's make another shift. A different kind of crossing, this time involving people. A border incident.
Right. What happened there?
Seoul's military reported this on Thursday, June 5th as well. Last month, a wooden boat with 4 North Koreans inside drifted into South Korean waters.
Drifted. Okay. Whereabouts did this happen?
In the East Sea. The reports specify waters east of Goseong, which is about 100 kilometers east of South Korea's Gangwon province. So pretty far out.
Okay. And the South Korean military found them.
They detected the small boat, yeah. The military and Coast Guard identified the 4 people. And then the report says they were sent to a relevant institution.
Which usually means screening by the intelligence agency, right? That's the standard procedure.
That's a typical process, yes.
But there was something unusual here.
There was. A key detail reported by Yonhap News Agency. All 4 of them apparently expressed a wish to return home, back to North Korea.
That's not what you usually hear in these situations, is it?
It's less common than stories of defection, certainly. And Yonhap also reported the assessment was that they likely crossed the border, the de facto sea border, accidentally.
Accidentally. And wanting to go back. Huh. So let's try and pull these threads together. We've got this sudden internet blackout, maybe internal, then this warship drama, very public, tied to pride and politics, and now these four individuals drifting across by mistake, wanting to return. What does it all mean when you see these different snapshots appear around the same time?
Well, they're definitely separate events,
Yeah.
very different kinds of events.
Yeah.
But taken together, just based on these specific news reports, you get maybe hints of internal system pressures or controls with the internet outage.
Mm-hmm.
You see the high political stakes tied to military image with the warship, that whole national dignity aspect.
Right.
And then this border crossing. It's a human story, but the details reported, the accidental nature, the desire to return, they kind of stand out. Suggest maybe different circumstances or motivations than a deliberate flight.
So it paints this picture of like tight control, maybe some fragility in infrastructure, huge political pressure on certain projects, but
Yeah.
also unexpected things happening, human things, accidental things.
Exactly. It's a mix. Rigid systems encountering, well, reality. Technical glitches, maybe internal issues, accidental human movements.
These reports, popping up over just a few days, they really are just snapshots, aren't they? Glimpses into different parts of the system, digital, military, human.
Yeah, windows into different facets of a place that's often, quite opaque.
So thinking about these three things together, the outage, the ship, the drifters, does their combined appearance in the news tell you anything? Maybe about information flow or priorities right now, or just the kinds of things that bubble up into view?
That's the really interesting question, isn't it? When you see these disparate pieces surface around the same time, what does that combination suggest about the current internal dynamics? Or perhaps just about what kind of information manages to get out? It leaves you wondering, what underlying factors might connect these seemingly separate events, if any?